Good afternoon, fellow astronauts. What do you think? I think we should probably talk about some things. Well, first thing I want to do is we got one package here to open. And you can tell that it's pretty squishy. So I'll tell you right now, it's a package of pay dirt. We'll open it up and take a look at it, but it's just something that maybe the coin community doesn't really care about, but double package though. I like that. I like that a lot because that just any chance of spillage then is minimized. We have this problem with that package from, and I'll tell you, the package from Oregon. I took it to the post office yesterday. You see the tape, you see the cut. I think we showed that before. I took it to the post office, and in front of the postal clerk, I asked the question whether I should open it because I know there's something inside. I don't know if everything that was inside is still there. And she said I would open it and check. So I opened it up on the bottom with her scissors in front of her. I took pictures, all that good stuff. And what we found inside was this coin right here. It says Goombagary Benji, and it is a Benji that I got for a last place finish in a race. Now, I cannot, for the life of me, understand why someone would use a package that big for one Benji. But we are working with Oregon to see if that's the only thing that was in that package. If that was the only thing that was in that package, hey, good. No harm, no foul. But I think that maybe there was something else in there. I don't know. And he doesn't know either until he goes back and looks at the video. So I got a message into him, and he responded back, and he's looking. So we'll see. And then we'll have to initiate a claim if there's anything else that was in there. But yeah, I wanted to make sure I opened that up in front of the postal clerk and took pictures, which I did. All righty. Look what we got here, buddy. We got a bag of pay dirt from B&B Prospecting. Let's take this out of this bag so we can read the back of that bad boy. Ooh, this is a bag of naughty pay dirt. Ooh, gold is a number 10 mesh to a minus 60. Pan 2 times to ensure you get all the gold. Thanks, Bob. Yeah, there's going to be some little shit in there, buddy. There is going to be some little stuff in there. So, yeah, look at how fine the dirt is. So, yeah, it'll still have to be classified, but it's going to have to be classified way, way down. And we're going to have to pan each one of those classifications at least twice. Because there's a few big rocks in there. Not many, but a few. I'm sure we're not going to get any nuggets, but the gold is a number 10 mesh down to a minus 60. Holy moly. That's small, but it's not the smallest stuff. So we'll be looking. All right, that's got to go out in my shop with the rest of my pay dirt. And we got another nice sticker from B&B Pay Dirt. Real nice. Goes in my book. All right, very good. We going to talk about insurance. Hey, Lisa. Ron Navy. How are you, buddy? Big Nasty Seth and Gatita Oso. How are you doing, Gatita? I'm going to talk about insurance and how I think the whole industry needs to be reformed. And just right now, we're going to talk about property and auto insurance. But we got, I got a magnet too. There was a magnet in there too. Look at that. Cool. That just fell out on my lap. I thought I had looked in there, but evidently not. Cool. All right. That's nice. That'll go down here on my sticker 2-drawer filing cabinet here. Right there. All right. We just got let go from our insurance, Progressive, that we have had for, God, I don't know, several years anyway. And that would be our homeowner insurance. Because what they said they were doing was limiting their exposure. I said, well, what kind of exposure do we have in Iowa? We don't have any hurricanes here. I live up on the top of a hill. There's no flooding here at all. I'm not in a valley or whatever. There's no flooding here. I don't have any hurricanes. The biggest threats we have here are tornadoes, yes, and fire. That would be it. Those are the two threats that we would have here. When I called my insurance agent, my agent said, well, by limiting exposure, what they're telling you is that they are cutting everyone that has any exposure because of the losses that they have incurred. You still know what I did last summer, huh? Try to make up for the costs that they have incurred with the Maui wildfire, with the California wildfires, with the floods in North Carolina and the loss of life, with the floods in Texas and the loss of life, with the train derailments and the food processing plants burning to the ground. And so they're trying to make up losses, is what they're trying to do. But isn't that what the insurance company is supposed to do? The insurance company is a bet, right? They're betting that you don't have losses. You're betting that you will, or you're just covering your ass in case you do have a loss, correct? But when you go look for new insurance, what you're going to find is you go to an insurance supermarket website, basically, where you will be shopped around different insurance companies, and then you're going to have to try and make a decision out of all those different insurance companies, and you're going to have to compare rates and coverages and deductibles and all of that stuff. You know, it's great to have good insurance, but if you have a $5,000 deductible and you have a loss, well, that first 5,000 is on you, as opposed to the $1,000 deductible that we had before, which we could handle. But $5,000 all at one time is kind of hard on the pocketbook. So the lesser the deductible you have, the more the insurance is going to cost, right? I don't know. And I guess maybe what I'm bitching about is the fact that the insurance companies are going to price themselves right out of business. The average homeowner will not be able to afford insurance anymore. You have to have insurance on your vehicles because that's a federal law. because all of your vehicles are covered by federal law. Even though you register them with the state, it's a federal crime if you drive it with the wrong plate on, or without insurance, or with uh, an altered registration or something like that. That's a federal crime. It's not a state crime. So it's a federal requirement that you have insurance. But all you have to have is liability. You don't have to have anything else. So if you crash your car, then you just park the fucker and go get a new one. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Yeah, I was going to talk about, and I like to talk about the pictures, the thumbnails that I put up on a video before I do the video. Yesterday's picture was a picture of my dad's gravestone. Not a big deal to you guys. It's a bigger deal to me than you. I mean, you can see the dates on there. You can see he died when he was 33, died in 64. I would have been 8 years old. Okay, that's that avatar, or that thumbnail. Today's thumbnail is a picture of, and it was a story on the internet about contractors and deniable operations by the U.S. government in foreign countries. And they have this picture with these Afghan mujahideen, but there was one contractor, but he looks like might have been a contractor. They didn't see any patches on him to denote that he was a military member. But that man looks exactly like someone I served with in the 12th Special Forces Group. And I'm not going to give you his name or his family or his history or anything, but he looks exactly like somebody I served with in the 12th. So that's why I had to put his picture up there, just so I remember that. Anyway, he can probably get a hold of me and tell me, nope, that ain't me, but sure looks like him. Yeah, insurance, I have an acreage, 2.9 acres, I think, right at 3. And there's one old shed out there. That's where I store my wood in. And we put lawnmowers in there. It's just enough to keep rain off stuff. The poles are starting to rot out and the roof is sagging, but it's a good place to keep wood for my wood burner. And I have another shed over here. It used to be an old barn foundation on one wall, and it was made. You slide the door closed, drive a tractor in, and there's an add-on shed where they used to keep an old combine. That's just an open, and it's just a roof. It's open to the south, and you can drive a tractor in there, or a skid loader, or a load of wood, or whatever. It's that big. It's that big. The shed that it's attached to has a walk-in door. I put concrete in there. That's where I had my fur skinning business for a long time. That's where I work on stuff. The other half is just a rock floor. And the one half is what I concrete and put a wall up in there. And that's where we did our fur skinning business in there. And then I have a little bitty shed out here. It used to be, it's what we call the well house. There used to be a well there. It was only 30 some foot deep well that used to water the cattle and whatever was out here in the pasture. But that well is plugged, so it's no longer there. But I have one freezer in there, and that's where I used to work on my traps. So that's where all my trapping stuff is at. My waders hang in there. I have my turkey fryers in there. My 20-pound LP tanks are in there. Just that kind of stuff. It's just big. I mean, 12 foot, 12 foot by 8 foot, maybe. Just a little frame building, good enough to work in. I can plug in an electric heater in there in the wintertime and stay warm while I'm working. Summertime, just open up the sliding door. There you go. Then I down where the old bins, grain bins used to sit. Those got taken down and sold and whatever. But I put up another building there, all steel building, 60 by 55 steel building with a 25-foot tall steel span roof. It's all steel. And I made a butchering room in there and a shop on one side. And then on the other side, I put my forge floor in there. That's not enclosed. That's just a concrete floor where my forges are at. That's where I do a lot of metal work. And then in the shop, I do a lot of metal work in there, the smaller stuff. But I need insurance on those buildings if a strong wind or a tornado takes them down, because it's going to cost something to replace them, all of them, every one of them. Even if I got to replace that one that's fallen down out here that holds my wood, it's going to cost something to replace that. So, number 6 on this ship. What the hell are you guys talking about? Go back up here and see what you're talking about. Yeah, the number 1, number 2s, number 3s, they all change. Just depends on how much you talk. Ron, you just did number 6 on the ship bar. Number 6. Number 6. Yeah, that is a great series, Ron. I really like that series. Yes, I agree, Cartier. You're basically paying on a bet. It's like going to casino. And I understand your thought, Cartier. I drive a 2010 pickup. Something happens to it, it's just getting parked out in the fucking pasture, and I'll go get another one. And I agree with you about buying the gold and silver. You want to compare safes, exactly. But I don't really care so much to have insurance on my car. My truck has only got liability and the smallest of collision and comprehensive. Why? Because I live in deer country, and the possibility of hitting a deer or a fucking cow on the road. I've hit a beef cow on the road at night. A dark brown beef cow in the middle of the road. Come just as you come up out of a dip. I saw it. I hit the brakes. I probably hit it going 5 miles an hour. It sat on the hood of my truck. That's just because it was running up the road then when it heard me coming, and it sat on the hood of my truck. It squashed my radiator, my whole front end, the hood, fan blade. Didn't do any other damage to the truck other than that. But the cow wasn't hurt. I scraped its back leg because I called the farmer. He came over and looked, and it was on his insurance. But it's just shit like that. And so now we're looking for a new property insurance, and everybody wants to jack up our deductible to 5,000 or better. I think I found a good replacement, but my wife wanted to look. Okay, so I let her go look, and we got to find it by what? July, August sometime. And she's having the same frustration that I have, is that once you call someone, you are shopped to a supermarket of insurance companies. You have to put in all your information, and then they, depending on the information you put in, they will direct you to one insurance company. Then you have to talk to a fucking receptionist there. and put in the other information. Then you got to talk to a fucking agent, and the fucking agent has to have all that information. You've already put that information in 3 fucking times. You don't need to do it that often. And then you just decide, well, okay, I got your quote. Now I'm going to go to another one. And then you go do it again. You go do it again. You go do it again. And it gets frustrating as fuck, man. It gets frustrating as hell. My thumbnail for this one, yeah, was I told you about that, but god damn it, there was a something I was going to say about that. All right, I forgot. Anyway, you get shopped around. You get shopped around. You are not the customer. You are the fucking the product. You are the product. Every insurance agent gets a cut of all of the policies that they write. That's how they stay in business. That's how they make their money. Right? And the more that the better a policy they can write for the insurance company, the worse the policy is for you, the more money they make. You see how that goes? And the number. The more people they bring in, and then they write those kind of policies, the more money they make. It's a big fucking scam. It's a big fucking scam. It's the same in property, automotive, medical insurance, fucking business insurance. It's all the same. It's all the same. And people will, at some point, have enough and will say, fuck it. I don't need your fucking insurance. I'll take my chances. Fuck you. And if a tornado decimates my place and I don't have the family or the money to rebuild, I'll just fucking, all right, federal government, what are you going to do for me? All right, state government, what are you going to do for me? Just like a lot of these other assholes do. Yeah, they're selling data. That's what they're doing. They're selling data. Also, you are the product. They're not selling you insurance. They're selling you a scam. They're selling you a bet. Oh man, it's just insurance. I am having enough of insurance, and I got screwed over. I was passing a vehicle in on a normal 2-lane highway. I was passing, doing about 50 miles an hour, passing, my blinker on. I was passing. I passed the vehicle, and there was a tractor in front of him. That's why he was going slow. So I was passing the tractor. The fucking tractor turned left right in front of me. I could do nothing. It was that quick. I was that close. I could do nothing. Bam, hit the tractor. I owed $3,000 on my truck yet, loan. I had insurance on the truck because I still had a loan on the truck with the bank. But because it was, and the sheriff came out and investigated, said I was in the right and blah, blah, blah. The tractor driver was just test driving a tractor for a business that was in that farmer's yard. The neighbor said, yeah, they're going to kill somebody there someday. And lo and behold, goddamn near me. But both of us had the same insurance company. Iowa Farm Bureau Insurance Company. Iowa Farm Bureau refused to pay me, but they paid him for the damage to his tractor. It bent the rock box in front of the tractor. $600 damage, or $6, they said, because it was a John Deere tractor. My truck was fucking totaled, and I still owed $3,000 on it. Yeah, granted, it wasn't that great of a truck. It's probably only worth 10 grand, but I went to the agent because it was the same agent for both of us. And I said, you know this isn't right. You know in your head, you know in your heart this isn't right. Why are they paying him and they're not paying me? He turned left into me. The sheriff, fucking idiot, didn't give anyone a ticket. So it was a no fault accident. That's when I dropped Farm Bureau. That's when I found out that Iowa Farm Bureau is the largest lobbying entity in the state of Iowa. They have all the lawmakers in their fucking pocketbook. Um, Iowa Farm Bureau is just a gigantic fucking um, drain on the state of Iowa. And I'm sure it's the same because they are with the National Farm Bureau Association, and every state has them in farming states. So I dropped them, and I swear to God, I never have them again, ever, ever. They could fucking kiss my ass as far as I'm concerned. And um, I also belong to another group here in Iowa, and they're a little leftist, but they do care about the environment, water quality. Um, they do care about how Iowa Farm Bureau affects the laws that are being made as far as how much um, chemicals you can put on plants on your field, what time of year and whatever. That is just destroying the water quality in Iowa. It's just destroying it. And Farm Bureau is the one to blame for environmental disaster that's going to happen in Iowa. All right, Cartier, we'll see you, buddy. Have a good one. All right, I'm going to end this at a half hour. Enough of my ranting and raving and whatever. But yeah, the insurance company's a scam, and I think that's one thing that the federal government could look at is reforming the insurance industry in the United States, because that's what keeps the prices of everything high. That's what keeps the prices of all of your medical tests and procedures and hospital stays astronomically high. That's what keeps your property insurance um, on your house, on your vehicles, on your land. And so it keeps all that shit high. And what is that? Why do you suppose they're doing that? Why do you suppose they're doing that? It's to keep you fucking poor. It's to keep you poor. So that you have no money. Why do you think we have that on our driver's licenses now? We got that little fucking star on there. Why do you think we got that? So we can fly domestically. Well, that's why I have a fucking passport. Oh, that's just to fly internationally. That's to enter another country. All right. Well, what if I want to fly to fucking California from Iowa or Minnesota? Well, you got to have that star on your driver's license, so you know we're safe to fly. They've done you're not on a no-fly list. You're not a fucking terrorist. Blah blah blah. Fuck you. And now they want to make it so that you can't drive from state to state. People, it's all about control. They're controlling you little bit by little bit by little bit, and you're taking it little bit by little bit by little bit. And someday you're going to fucking wake up, or your kids are going to wake up, and they won't be able to move out of the town that they're in. They won't be able to drive anywhere. They won't be able to fly anywhere. They won't be able to fucking walk anywhere. They won't be able to own a gun to defend themselves or to keep the fucking government off our fucking ass. You think you have a vote now. You don't have a vote. You have a two-party system I call the uniparty, and they install who they want to install. Trump along with them. They let him win they make it appear to look like they didn't want him to win the election, and they were doing everything they could to uh, have him not win the election, but they let him win the election just so that you would shut up, sit down, and they could get some shit passed in the next 4 years, and you won't say anything about it because it's your guy. He's the guy that's going to do something. He ain't going to do fucking dick. And if he does do something, it's going to be feel good. How about releasing the Epstein files? Oh, no Epstein files, no video, no list, no client list. He definitely hung himself. Case is fucking closed, right? Just the DOJ just came out and said that. That's fucking bullshit. They lied then or they're lying now, one or the other. Bullshit. Keep that fucking shit alive, man. It's all about control. They want you poor. They want you not to be able to move. They want you to talk to other people so that you can spread those dangerous fucking uh, thoughts and ideas about a free people and oppressive government. Well, you're getting it. You're getting it. You're going there. All right, enough of my rant. I'm fucking done. See you guys later.